Hey everybody, I hope you're doing great. I come to you with the basket of books. Here's a bunch of books that I've been working on. It's actually a project that I've been working on for weeks and weeks. And it has to do with wanting to empower people that, in particular, have never made books before and giving them the tools and the confidence to be able to do that. So all these books, all the ones that you see here, these are all made with the same pattern, but they're all just different, okay? So whatever your style is, if you want something that's more vintagey, you can do something like this. If you want something that's bright and cheerful, this was the one that I was thinking more for like Valentine's Day. You can do something like that. Here's one that I really like. It has a little bit of a vintage feel, but it also has the sewing stitches and the sweet little gal in it. So really whatever feel that you want. Here's a clean lined one. This is the one that I'm actually going to be working on today because it has all the bones, the basics of what all the other books carry. And then the beauty is I have it so that you can then take the exact same pattern and then make other books with it with different paper. This is a Prima paper that I use that they have it at Hobby Lobby. It's just lovely. Anyway, I use the exact same pattern as that I did in all the other books. I just took paper from the Prima pack to do that with. Here's one that I did with the masculine book. The exact same pattern. The front page has a flip. I would look at the pattern of the book that I made and I would say, okay, like this one here. If I can get it. See, I have a doily here. So this had a round piece in here. Oh, not that one. This had the round piece right there that I was able to use as a doily. It had a pocket right there, so I found a piece that I could use to make a pocket. So I had the pattern then of, I didn't have to think about what I was going to do. I could just follow my pattern and make a completely different book with a different look. So, and then you can also take it and you can make 3 signatures. This one has 3 signatures in it. I'll make a video showing you how to do that too. This one has just 1. But the one with the 3 in it, you can put more of the traditional papers that you would do in junk journaling. Like I tuck music papers in there. I just put lots of pages in between to do your journaling on. But also just containing the basic pattern from this book. Here's a bright and cheerful one. This was actually one of the first ones that I made. And this one uses watercolor on the paper. And then these are Project Life cards. Great way to use up your Project Life cards. So this is the one that we're going to be making today. And this is what you're going to need to make the book and to follow along with me. You can certainly just use your own paper and go along with me, but if you want to make the exact same books and have the pattern, this is what you'll need. I have over in my Etsy shop, I have the digital printout. This is all the pages in the book that you mix and match and move around that you see in each of the books that I made, other than the ones that use this separate paper. After that, so this is 6 pages, and then I have a 9-page tutorial printout. So each page I take you through the making of it, the binding of it, how you sew it, and then for each page I have the picture there and I have the directions of how to do your basic book. Just trying to make it easy for you. Some people are visual learners, some people need to actually read it and see it, so I try to accommodate both. My goal is really to empower you and so that you can just have fun. Have fun with your junk journal endeavor. Okay, then you're going to need scissors. You're going to also need glue and really paper, and that's pretty much just it for the basics. You can get by with that. If you have a paper cutter, that would be an awesome thing too. It just makes some things a little bit easier. But let's get going now and start with the cover. So for the cover of the book, you're going to need some paper. You're going to need either a piece of cardstock or you're going to need a coffee dyed piece of paper. With this one, I just use my paper. This particular one isn't coffee dyed. It's been dyed with an onion skin, actually. so it has more of a yellow look to it. But that's what you need for something like this. If you want, you can use cardstock. I use cardstock on this one. It has a heavier feel to it. To make the scallops, though, it's easier to use the coffee dyed paper or whatever type of prepared paper that you have. So that's what I'm going to do here for you. For the entire book, by the way, you basically just need 3 pieces of paper, 1 for the cover and then 2 for the inside of the book. Go ahead and take your cutting tool. If you don't have a cutting tool, you can cut it by hand. It'll be just marvelous. So what you want to do is get it in, and you want to cut it at 5 3/4 inches. And this is cut the long way. So I have 5 3/4 inches this way, and then I have 11 inches going the long way. Go ahead and make a cut, and then save this piece of paper because we're going to use that later on. Okay, so now we have this piece. There's 2 different ways you can make it. We can make it with the scallops, like I said. That's what I'm going to do for this one. For the scallop page, you want to cut your page down to 10 inches. Got that there. Just cut off that little section. If you didn't want to do the scallops and you wanted to do just a regular cut page, go ahead and cut that down to 9 inches. So now I have my piece of paper here. What I want to do at this time is take out the first page of my patterned paper. This piece right here I made as a guide to help you do your cutting for your scallops. Go ahead and take your scissors, or if you want to cut it out on your cutting board, and cut it out. The edges don't have to be perfect because this is just going to be your guide. We're going to hold it up to the cover of the book. Go ahead and take your piece and fold it in half. And this is going to go up to the edge of your page. You're going to use a couple paper clips or other clips in order to secure it on. What you want to decide is, if you think you're comfortable making more scallops per edge, or if you don't feel you're very confident with your scissor skills, you might want to use less. So there's 3 different sizes for 3 different amounts of scallops that you can have along your edge. Whichever one you want to use is fine. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the green. The green one has the most. So I've got that there. I'm going to pin it on the side, and I'm going to pin it on the side. I'm going to take my scissors at this point, and I'm just going to make a clip just up to where the next color of the paper comes. That's going to be the shape where my scallop goes. So I'm going to make a clip down of each of one. Now, if you're using just one less, you can just cut off the green, and then you have that peachy color, that peachy pink, and you would put that one at the top, or flip it around and you have the red on the bottom. At this point, I don't need my guide anymore, so I'm going to remove my clips, put my guide to the side, and then I'm going to take this. So see, I've got the edge right there, and I'm going to start making little half circles with the peak at the top, and I'm going to aim to meet where my little snipping went to. Now I'm going to do the same with the next piece. I'm going to tuck my scissors in, I'm going to reach up to the top, and then turn it down to the bottom to meet where I had my previous slit. And I'm going to do that again. Now I know some people, they might feel more comfortable just doing it like this, going the halfway and then turning it over, and then getting your scissors back on the other side and doing it, because it angles a little bit. So it's whatever works for you. So just take your time in doing it. And if you don't feel comfortable with this, you can cut a smaller one, or you can just cut the straight edge. Even after you do this, if you cut it and you're just like, I just really am not pleased with it, just go ahead and lop it off at the mark of the 9 inches that you would have had for the other one. No loss, no problem. It's still a beautiful book. So I have made a ton of little scallops like these. I actually own a die that makes scallops, but I find it easier just to do it by hand. So I really encourage you to just kind of work on it and try it, even if you just get some scrap paper and play around with it and try it. So when you see with this one, I have punched to make little the lacy scallops on the front, and then I left it closed in the back. I'm not going to do any punching right now until the very end. The paper does tend to be a little bit more tender, so I want to wait till I'm done handling my book so much, moving around while I'm making it. So I'll do that at the very end. Also, I'll add my cover picture at the very end too, because when I'm scooching it around and stuff, it has a possibility of just getting a little bit marred, so I always just have the habit of doing those at the end. So just to show you, this was on page 1 of your cutting guide and your making of the page, and this is your scalloped and all the information for doing that. So if you're not able to watch through the video, you have your guide and you can go through it, and it'll just talk you through all the parts.